What's up, folks? I'm Odd, by the way, and welcome back to episode 8. 8 of the Pokemon Challenge OC custom thing that I do. Running out of titles for the videos, honestly. Sorry if they get a little samey sometimes, but what works, works. But basically, if you're new to this, it's where I draw a couple of bootleg toys that I got a while ago out of this baggie, and draw them either based off of their weird bootlegged traits or off of some trait that I think would be cool, either real life or fantasy at this point. And yeah, just generally like have a good time making some custom Pokemon, but it's random, at least to some extent, based off of the number of critters that are in here. I think that's a back. Alright, well, let's get started. Let's just go right off the bat and pick out our first selection from this blind bag. This feels familiar. Nope. Oh no, it's frozen Suicune. Free him. Enhance. He's got a little block of plastic. Oh, poor buddy. Maybe I'll free you, try and cut you out of this or something. Oh no. The dye, whatever it was not complete. Well, okay then. On to the next one. I don't think I've drawn Suicune. I haven't drawn a large variety of Pokemon. I usually draw my favorites, which are like... I mean, I've drawn Absol, we know this, and Growlithe. The Growlithe line, which I haven't gotten yet, but I know there's at least one in here. So maybe today will be the day. And no, we got Sableye. That's a little heavy on the eye. Enhance. Oh, he's spooky. Oh no. It kind of suits the goblin-y nature of Sableye, though. It's quite cute. Okay. Final selection for today. What will we get? This is pretty accurate Shroomish. Enhance. He's cute. I think I've drawn Shroomish before. It's got like the coloring is off, but the face is there and the body shape. This is super cute. Okay, so a weird range of Pokemon. I have no idea how I'm going to approach this. Again, we've got a legendary, a weirdo, and a relatively normal Gen 3 Pokemon. So, actually, besides Suicune, we have a relatively Gen 3 lineup. Suicune being the outstander. We got 2 Gen 3 Pokemon. So that's interesting. So, yeah. And I have to do this some justice, Shroomish, because this is one of my brother's favorite Pokemon, I think. And I like Sableye, personally, myself, so. Yeah. But I will figure these guys out, and I will show you what I've done during the speedpan voiceover. See you there. Alright, so first up we have our poor frozen Suicune, which actually turned out very fitting, although I didn't totally have that in mind when I drew it. Just kind of a happy little coincidence. Legends are weird for this, right? Like, you already have to suspend disbelief with, like, pocket dimensions when 2 10-year-olds have the same iconographic demigod rotting in their computer's code, right? Legendaries kind of are, by definition, just supposed to be, like, one of a kind, in my mind. So, my first thought was that maybe this was some sort of corruption, like your Dark Lugia type, right? And then when I searched up Suicune, I noticed it was classified as the Aurora Pokemon. So I thought, okay, what if I made a regional or time-based variant, one that wasn't Walking Wake? Sorry, friend, at least you got it better than Paradox Raikou, though. This is where that coincidence came in. I thought of an Ice-type Suicune, maybe secluded to the north, with darker patterning to represent that unending night in the far north winters, and an actual Aurora mane. Maybe this is an Ice-Dark type, even. I called this variant the North Wind Suicune and named it Boreas for the Greek god of the north wind that brings winter. Just getting a little oh hellos here, don't mind me. Actually, this made me realize that the genies are probably designed after the gods of the four winds, so Who's amorous, other than a Fifth Element reference? Regardless, I could see this being, this variant being kind of like a metaphorically and physically darker version of Suicune. Whereas the original is kind of that purifying rain after the fire, this version is the long, slow process of snowpack and glacier water building up to melt in the spring. Maybe it's even a little bit like the three birds from Sword and Shield. I call them the Masqueraders, where it's not technically a Suicune. Like, it resembles one, but also isn't quite. And it's just called the North Wind in that circumstance. It's got that dangerous but beautiful vibe of seeing the auroras during an Arctic winter. Next up, we have Sableye, and I don't know how I didn't make this comment either time I saw the bootleg, but when Sableye is black like this, that's just a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts. Honestly, I didn't hate the idea though, and actually, when I looked up the definition of Sable, I got the creature, but when it comes to a descriptor, like saying something has sable eyes, it can actually mean black. So it's actually pretty suiting to have a Sableye, which is what I wound up calling this variant, because why not, of course, right? I named her Heartless, but honestly, she looks anything but. I gave her the kind of goblin-like vibe I expect from Sableyes, with a hunched-over, finger-tapping little apprehensive pose. Can she have your heart, please? Honestly, I'd say yes. I didn't display all of the gems here, but I do think that she'd still have those typical ruby, sapphire, emerald insets. They would be very striking against the black. The red belly that is showing certainly is. Finally, we have the Shroomish, and honestly, the change from such a detailed design like Suicune to the little munchkins that are Sableye and Shroomish is quite jarring. This was definitely the fastest of the three to get done, and I decided to go for a frankly, in my opinion, pretty obvious option. I made kind of an inverse of the shiny Shroomish to create a psychedelic Shroomish. I named her Amanita after the particular variant of mushroom she's inspired by. It's not actually the magic mushroom someone would typically take, but it's definitely the most visually represented psychedelic mushroom. Funny fact about the red and white Amanita muscaria, it's known historically to have been used by drinking reindeer pee after the reindeer had consumed it first. I think it needs to be broken down to in some degree in order to be effective, but you could probably also just, I don't know, boil it. Our Amanita is just happy to exist, unlike her grumpy cousins, probably for some obvious reasons. But those are this week's assortment of Pokemon. This group, I guess, could have a slightly darker vibe. Amanita isn't very dark inherently, but maybe a little adult for a Pokemon concept. Ultimately, not really a theme here, though. Regardless, I do really like how these three turned out. I think I prefer Boreas, but this is kind of a 3 for 3 on Pokemon concepts I really liked, if only for different reasons. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments or any other fun art challenges you'd like to see me do, and of course you can subscribe to catch that in the future. At that though, I'll leave this here, and I'll see y'all next time. Isn't it better to be safe? Sorry.
One way or two.